It has been 50 years since her death, but Marilyn Monroe is still recognized as one of America's most prominent sex symbols. Although that was not her goal in life, she will forever be remembered for her striking noticeability. Marilyn Monroe was born Jean Mortensen June 1st, 1926. She never knew who her father was. It was just her and her mother Gladys. When Marilyn was 7, her mother was diagnosed with a severe mental illness, and she was admitted to a mental institution, leaving Marilyn in an orphanage for 2 years, before countless foster homes, until Grace McKee, a friend of Marilyn's mother, took Marilyn under her wing and helped her gain her self-esteem and provided a stable environment. Grace and her husband had to relocate for his job, but they could not take Marilyn with. So Grace arranged a marriage between her friend's son, Jim Daughtry, and Marilyn. Marilyn was only 16 while Jim was 21. That was the only way of keeping Marilyn out of the orphanage or foster homes because she was still a minor. Marilyn's husband got drafted to war as a merchant marine. She stayed back and worked at an aeronautical factory on an assembly line that produced parachutes for the war. It was there that she was inspired to pursue an acting or modeling career. A man named David Conager captured a photo of her one day while working on the assembly line. After he developed it, he brought it to Marilyn to show her and complimented her on how photogenic she was. She was overjoyed with that compliment, so she took a 3-month modeling class and obtained a modeling career shortly after. She started just posing for magazine covers. And when her husband Jim came home from the war, he basically gave her an ultimatum. It was either him or modeling. She chose modeling. Modeling was, just added to her resilience. That same year, she dyed her hair platinum blonde, she changed her name to Marilyn Monroe, and she signed her first contract with Fox. It was a 1-year contract at a rate of $125 a week, which in 1946, that was a lot of money. Although she didn't act within that first year, she did, however, star in movies such as The Asphalt Jungle, The Fireball, and All About Eve in 1950. Marilyn then signed a 7-year contract with Fox and was termed by Fox the most promising actress. Within the next 4 years, she starred in, I think, 10 different movies. Some as Young as You Feel, Love's Nest, Let's Make a Deal, and Monkey Business, just to name a few. Marilyn then married Yankee Joe DiMaggio in 1954. That was her second marriage and also most short-lived. They divorced after 9 months. Joe was a very conservative man, and he felt just too much pressure on their marriage as Marilyn was becoming a famous woman for her acting, but also becoming a sex symbol for her conspicuous roles that she played. That pose that everyone thinks of when they hear Marilyn Monroe was from The 7-Year Itch when she was standing over a subway grate with her white dress flying up. That just showed a little too much for Joe, so they divorced in 1954. Her third marriage was 1956. She married a playwright named Arthur Miller, and that lasted about 4 years before getting divorced in 1961. After the divorce, Marilyn admitted herself to a psychiatric clinic in New York for a brief time, and then she went back to Fox to act. But due to her unstable disposition, she would outburst in emotional disturbances. So she was fired in June of 1962. Marilyn was found in her home on August 5th, 1962, just 2 months after being fired. She was found with an empty bottle of sleeping pills beside her. There are many different rumors of what actually happened to cause her death, but the coroner who did her autopsy declared her death as suicide by poisoning. Her life was cut way too short. She proved to the world, and more importantly to herself, that she wasn't the unwanted little girl that she was years ago. She was strong, attractive, smart, and resilient. Marilyn's life and her achievements have created not only a prominent sex symbol, but a beauty icon. She went on to inspire many actors, singers, and writers even years after her death, such as Andy Warhol, Madonna, Lady Gaga, and I'm sure many more. A famous quote that Marilyn said was, "I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so you appreciate them when they're right. When you believe lies, so you'll eventually learn to trust no one but yourself. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. And I do truly feel like that is a very optimistic way to live your life.